What's good, Fin Nation? What's good? It's your boy Reason, and I'm joined by the man with the goosebumps. And I'm not talking about RL. I'm not talking about RL Stein, EMdolphinfan. What's good, homie?
Man, it gets me every time. What's good, homie?
I'm
Good
just
to be
here, bro.
back.
Guys,
Good to be back.
eight dislikes before we went live. So let me
Dang,
get.
I know, bro.
Hold on. Either we had some people that were mad about how right and how good my film analysis was on Jerome Baker. Either we got still people in their feelings about Josh Rosen, or we got people that are still in their feelings about how right we were about the draft. So, or we just got plain haters from another platform. Take your pick. But either way, guys, smash that like button. Let's drown out the haters, because that's just ridiculous when people are that petty and they go out of their way that hard and on a Saturday night. Hey, I'll tell y'all this. We must be in the sub boxes if y'all hit coming through before we go live. So thanks for the subscription. So
can we get a little love? Can we get just a little bit, man? Just a little bit.
Just a little. No, yeah. What's up, Sean Jones? What's good? Yo, what's good, Kenu Style? What's good, Jeff? What's up, good Jeff Primotes? What's good, Marino's Go?
TV. I see
Jose, Vic,
Josh Fernandez. What's going on?
George Albanese, CO Supreme, David Solomon.
Marino the GOAT. I see you, homie.
Michael Pulisic and Davin Solomon. I know I butchered your name, so I got to correct it right there.
Larry L, I see you, bro.
Rhino Sith, Chad Marchione, what's good? Jazza 803, Jason Greaves, the homie, what's good, bro? How you doing? Sequarium, what's good, man? Damian Deese, what's good? Josh Valencia, what's good, man? Pay Homage, what is good, man? Esteban, D82 was the first to comment. What's good, man?
D82 in the house. I see you, homie.
Yo, thanks, Josh Fernandez. I hope you enjoyed that. Yo, guys, if you are looking for an audio version, if this show ain't enough for you, it came out Friday this week, but it's going to start every Thursday from here on out. Go check out my new audio podcast over on the Brawl Network. You can find it on all major podcast outlets, i.e. Spotify, iTunes, Podbean, all that. Just go under Dolphins Brawl, and it's the latest episode, and it was episode 1 of The Finish Line, my new audio podcast with Richmond Webb, and of course the homie and Phinside the NFL fam, Mr. Ballgame. So go check that out, guys. I think y'all enjoy
it. Absolute fire.
I think y'all enjoy that, man. So go check it out if you hadn't. Yeah, how you feeling, bro?
I'm good, homie. Good, man. Another day, another dollar, man. And bro, just just same old, man. Getting ready for my. It's gonna be a long day tomorrow. Unfortunately, I'll have to watch the game from my phone. But it's what it is. So, but yeah, I'm good though. I'm good. Everything's
Don't worry, I'll hold down the fort during the live reaction, bro. And if something big happens, you can always hop in and out if you need to, bro. Marino's GOAT, win, baby, win, bro. I ride out to that J-Rock. Win. All right? That's all I do out here. That's all I try to do out here. Because when we win, y'all win. It's just better content for y'all, right? So, all right, let's talk a little bit about what we got coming up. Let's first talk about a few things that are going on. Bro, Cam Newton coming down with the vid. Got that Tennessee, I believe, was it today or yesterday, where 3 more Tennessee players tested positive for it as well?
I believe it was yesterday.
Yeah, so they pushed that back. They're both teams, the Steelers and the Titans, are on a bye now, right? So you got the Chiefs. It's looking like it could be on Tuesday, but it's looking realistically like it might get pushed all the way back, and they get put on a bye right now. My question is this to you, EM, before we delve into this. What happens if it happens again to a team that's already had a bye week? Now what do you do? See, here's the thing, EM. They've had since March, okay, to create a bubble or to create an NFC bubble and an AFC bubble. They refuse to do that, and now we find ourselves in this situation, bro.
Well, I think that's going to be plan B, because I've seen multiple reports of contingencies that the NFL has in place. There's a lot of speculation from them just confining everybody to a hotel, for like the duration of the season. So I think that'll be plan B. One more, if this becomes an issue, I think we'll definitely see a plan similar to what the NBA adopted, type of plan put in place. I mean, they're going to have to at that point if they want to maintain the season. So, I've seen a lot of reports, and there's speculation of exactly what they're going to do, but I think the NFL has a plan in place to where if this becomes a bigger issue, a bubble type of, scenario will be implemented. And they would have to. They have no choice at that point if they want to, maintain the season. So.
And bro, the worst possible position ever, the quarterback position, right?
Yeah, man. Look, knock on wood, bro. Just Tua and Fitz, and just saw we signed Jake Ruddock. Again,
two guys on our two quarterbacks on our practice squad.
Guys just have to be responsible. We talked about this before the season started. If you're responsible, the NBA is a prime example. If you're responsible, you follow protocol, you won't have an outbreak. Period. Yeah. You know what I mean? So I don't know what Cam has got going on, or what happened that led to him him contracting the virus. I have no idea. But at the end of the day, man, you have to be overly cautious. And I just hope our team just maintains that level of discipline and focus, because it's all about focus, bro. You know what I mean? It's about focus at the end of the day. You know what's out there. You know what's in front of you. You just have to maintain that discipline and that focus. And there was a lapse somewhere. There was a breakdown somewhere. But again, just glad it's not happening to our team.
Yeah. So just some thoughts before we get into the keys and stuff. How are you feeling the night before? I think this is going to be, me and you talked privately. I don't think it's beyond belief that, let me reword that. I don't think it's beyond unbelievable that Fitz could put up 300, 350 yards tomorrow against this secondary. Fact of the matter is, though, we're walking into a game with Russell the Cook, Chef Boyar Russell right now, bro. So,
and Fitz might have to. He might have to put up minimum 300. You know what I mean, to keep up. So, yeah. My thing with Fitz, though, reason we talked about this privately. We know Fitz. I'm a firm believer of their defense has, major issues in the secondary in particular. I think we have these skill position players to consistently threaten them for 4 quarters. But what I want to see from Fitz, the numbers, the yards, the statistics are gonna come with Ryan Fitzpatrick. That's a given. But what I want to see with Fitz, and I want to see consistency in this aspect of his game, and that's his decision making. I want to see sound. I want to see, when the offensive line gives him pressure. I want to see the clean mechanics. I want to see, just overall decision making. If Fitz, continues to do that, like we saw in the Buffalo game, like we saw in Jacksonville, I think we'll be fine in this game. Because again, I think we have the skill position players to consistently threaten and make plays against the secondary. And the fact that Jamal Adams
it's going to come down to which defense can make the most stops literally tomorrow.
Yeah. I agree.
People seem to be forgetting, all these people who are still banging the table for Tua quietly, especially after. And shout out to all y'all for showing love to that minute clip of the Tua rat, over 4,200 views on that. Let's keep getting that up, man. That's just a thing of art. You can watch it 100 times a day. You know what I mean? So, there's still a little group of people. Why isn't he starting still? Well, maybe that's because 2 things. Number one, in game 1, we only had 1 minute and 25 of possession time. offensively in the third quarter. So in the second half, we only had the fourth quarter to put up points. Okay, against the Bill Belichick defense, I don't care who you are, that's a tall task to ask. Okay, especially with how well their offense was not only scoring and moving the ball, but taking time off the clock with their game plan. Number two, in the past 2 games, even against a defense that's pretty good with Buffalo, even though they got gashed a little bit by LA out of nowhere, but you can actually look into LA's offense. They've added some new wrinkles. They went from, I believe they were middle of the pack in terms of middle of the league at motioning at the snap, not before the snap, but motioning at the snap. And motioning at the snap is what makes the Baltimore Ravens offense so effective, right? Right now, the LA Rams are number 2 in the league. 33% of their plays are motioning at the snap, and it causes a ton of confusion, right?
Absolutely.
You can false key guys, you can do all that kind of stuff, right?
Absolutely.
So what happens is that's why they had that comeback against Buffalo, because they really started diving deep into that, right? They started running things they had seen earlier, but the keys weren't the same when the play played out, right? So it was confusing the linebacking core. Anyways, just to say this to say that. Just to say that, to say this. In the last 2 games, Fitzpatrick and that offense has put up 59 points. Do you really think right now, Fitzpatrick is playing some pretty damn good football, man?
Absolutely.
He's not, there's no one nipping at his heels right now. And hey, I told everyone, seeing Burrow, and this is before those clips came out, and I even told you this. Seeing Burrow, seeing Herbert even throw for 300 yards, even though he had a little bit of a fumbleitis and a turnover problem last game. Seeing them do that didn't make me anxious to see Tua. It made me even more excited that he may have 6 or 8 more games to grow and learn on the sideline with the skill set I already know we were hearing he was developing in camp. Then when I saw those clips, I was like, oh, this is beautiful. You got that player making those type of big boy throws, and he's sitting there and learning from a guy and a team that lost in the first game, and now he's seen what it takes to have a close game with Buffalo. Even though we lost, we were competitive, and then he's seen us lose, he's seen us be competitive, and then he saw what it takes to win offensively. So he's seen all 3 stages without even having to be on the field in the first 3 weeks. And like I've been telling people, he's either beside Fitz when Fitz is on the sideline, and if Fitz is on the field, he's right beside Flores with that iPad, and they've even talked about how he's calling out what he would do before the snap happens, because he has the angle of he can see all 11 on one side and all 11 on the other side. He has an advantage like that. So, and here's the thing, Tua's not your average quarterback in terms of this, because me and you have highlighted this. People can go back and find the receipts all the way back to when I first showed up on YouTube and me and you connected. We were telling people this in last October, November, a year ago now. We were saying the one thing, what did we talk about intangibles off the field? We not only talked about how much he galvanizes the player around him, what you're already seeing from the Zoom interviews, but what else did we talk about? How he's such a student of the game. So when you got a guy learning on the sideline like that, having that capability to be a student of the game firsthand, that does more wonders than I think people really do give it credit for. Now, do I think we're going to see Tua this year? 110%. Yes, I do. Because at the rate Fitz is going right now, I like the usage last game, but a game like this scares me where his arm could be used 30 or 40 times. That's what scares me. That's why you're going to have to – the run game is going to be so imperative for 2 reasons. Because you're going to keep Russell Wilson off the field, and you're not going to have to use Fitz's. If Gaskin's ever going to have a 100-plus yard game, this is the game, big boy. And I know Myles Gaskin in his Zoom said people were praising him this week in a Zoom, and you know what Myles Gaskin said? And I quote, "I haven't really done anything yet." Attaboy. Now go out, get me 120 yards on 21, 22 carries, and that's how we're going to have a chance to win this ball game, I think, EM.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that. But here's what I think. I think this game, balance will definitely be key. I think, obviously, the run game is going to be extremely important for all the reasons that you highlighted. Keeping, consistently winning the time of possession, okay? Keeping that high-powered Seattle offense on the, on the sideline. But I think the approach should be when there's plays to be made through the air, we need to take those shots. And I think based off the way this defense have played the first 3 games, there will definitely be tons of plays to be made. So, I think the approach should be, more balance oriented. And I think that will ultimately be the approach. But I'm not necessarily worried about Fitz, his arm. I'm not in this game, not this early. I'm really not. I mean, I'll pay close attention to him early on to see him, especially into the second quarter. But I'm not necessarily that concerned in this game, with Fitz's arm. I think, I don't want to see him throwing the ball 40 times a game, but I don't want to see Tua Tagovailoa throwing the football 40 times a game in the NFL. So again, balance.
At least not yet.
Right. Again, balance is paramount. And again, I want to see Fitz making plays with his legs. I want to see him improvising more because again, with the lack of pass rush, you know what I mean? There will be tons of this defense, the way they've been playing the first 3 games, there will be plenty of plays to be made through the air and with his legs. And again, what I want to see with Fitz is his decision making. I don't want to see him when our line have, they're giving him protection and there's plays to be made, but the higher percentage play is for him to tuck the ball and improvise. I want to see him be clean, continue to be clean in his decision making, opting to improvise, and vice versa. I don't want to see Fitz happen to, in terms of, in the air and in the passing game. I don't want to see him forcing and putting the ball in harm's way. You know what I mean? So much taking chances, so to speak. I want to see him when the plays that are to be made, make sound decisions. But when there's plays to be made with his legs, just like we saw in Jacksonville, I want to see that. I want to even see, a few wrinkles of design run for him like we saw in the Jacksonville game. So again, this defense has major issues. Jamal Adams is not playing. So man, I'm telling you, their lack of pass rush up front, their secondary on every level, it's just leakage everywhere. Guys are not covering, lack of communication. You know what I mean? I don't know what's going on there, but they have major issues. Hopefully they hadn't got a lot of that cleaned up by tomorrow. But there will be plays to be made. But I just want Fitz to be sound in his decision-making for the most part.
I agree, bro. Let me just and guys, what we're going to do in a little bit after we go through our game preview is we are going to open it up for you guys to come on and talk about the game, your predictions, et cetera, et cetera. So we're just going to roll through a couple things here, and then, we'll be opening it up for you guys. So just give us 1 second here. I'm just getting here, doing something.
We want to hear from everybody too, man. Scotty Too Hotty, don't be scared. Don't be scared. Hop in that StreamYard, bro. Dr. Green Thumb, I see you. Shout out to you. Appreciate you coming through tonight.
Does Dr. Green Thumb, brother, I gotta ask you this, Dr. Green Thumb. Does that mean what I think it means, brother? Are you growing the ganja? So guys, let's get into a little bit into the game preview here, and we're gonna start off, guys. Just gonna give you we are rocking out right now. Just gonna give you guys a quick little look at what the forecast is expected to be tomorrow at Hard Rock Stadium, because as you know, the great thing I will say this, the one thing this shows us and that everyone is about to see is not only are they traveling all the way down here, but tomorrow they're going to be dealing with temperature of kickoff. I have 88 degrees. It's going to feel like 99.
Man.
And humidity and a little bit of a wind, 15-mile-per-hour wind. But hopefully they don't get too much of a breeze from that wind, and we can wear them down in the third and fourth quarter. Just, again, another reason we'll get into why it's going to be so imperative we establish the run, right? So,
Yeah, they're not going to be used to that heat, bro. Mm-mm. Yes, sir.
Yeah,
They'll
let's
be
give them.
feeling that. They'll be feeling that in the fourth quarter for sure.
We can only hope, bro. We can only hope.
Mm-hmm.
Here is your forecast for tomorrow, guys. Just wanted to give that to y'all real quick. So now let's get into, before we get into the keys, let's get into the injury report and how it's shaping up, because ours isn't so bad yet. The Seahawks is like a manifesto. So as you guys can see here, from Wednesday to Thursday to Friday, you can see how everyone progressed in terms of Tua had a fever. That's all he had, guys. So he did participate on Friday. Byron Jones just missed Wednesday with a groin. So right now it looks like Byron Jones is doubtful, as is Kevon Frazier. They both only had limited participation. Byron Jones says he feels like he's good to go. So I guess it's going to be a game time decision. Solomon Kinley did pop up. I think he has something going on with his ankle right now. Specifically, not just his foot, but his ankle. So he's questionable. He will probably play, as will Tua Tagovailoa. So once again, it looks like we might be without Byron Jones tomorrow. EM.
Yeah, man, that's going up against these, these receivers. I mean, they're good as a tandem as there is in the league right now, in my opinion. They're different. They have different styles. You've got the smaller, shiftier, quicker, wide receiver in Tyler Lockett, and then you've got that monster, that absolute beast. And man, something, real quick. I saw Omar Kelly. For all you, again, I'm sorry. I'm not to bring up Josh Rosen again, but goddamn, I saw Omar's tweet yesterday. He said the second round pick that we gave up for freaking Josh Rosen, we could have selected DK Metcalf.
Yeah, you saw that, eh? I shared that on our account, bro.
Oh my God, bro. No,
how does that make you feel, bro?
This Rosen nightmare. Oh my God. Oh man. I'm sorry.
On what's his face? Who went to New Orleans? The center.
Yeah, Eric McCoy. Dalton Reisner from Denver.
Yeah,
another lineman, left guard.
DK Metcalf, who, honest, bro, if Devontae wanted to walk and you had DK Metcalf, you could say cool because I got this big body guy. Where
and envision this: DK Metcalf, Preston Williams, and Devontae Parker.
Yeah, just how are you defending that, bro? And then Gesicki added in the 4 receiver set, bro. How do you, bro? And you know how you really mess with teams, bro? You know what you really do? You want to create real mismatches, bro? All you do, bro, is you keep Preston and DVP on the boundaries, Gesicki in the slot, and then DK in the slot. What are you gonna do? Because they're gonna be smaller guys matched up against them in the slot, bro. And if it's a bigger guy, or if it's a linebacker, they're gonna get killed, bro.
I'm sorry, I needed a minute. I'm sorry, I apologize. But
hey, bro.
But anyway, I got sidetracked. I apologize, everybody. But damn. I said, damn, Omar is absolutely 100% correct. I said, oh my God. But anyway, moving on. Yeah, but the absence of Byron Jones, obviously, he will be missed in this game if he doesn't play. But again, that's the hand that we've been dealt. Next man up mentality. I want to see from a matchup standpoint. I want to see the same approach that we took, like we talked about the first game, the second game, and the third game. Mm-hmm. You want to keep Russell Wilson confined within the pocket. Now I know he's the best player in the league right now. I get it. I understand. And Russell Wilson can carve you up in every single way, every single aspect of the quarterback position. But
him and Mahomes are the best in the world right now, bro.
If he's going to beat me, I would rather him do it and keep him confined within the pocket. because we know how deadly he is.
We'll talk about that, bro. You getting that?
Oh, my bad. I'm getting a little ahead of myself. My bad, homie. My bad.
No, it's all good.
But yeah, Byron Jones is gonna be missed, But again, it's next man up. I want to hear. I really would love to be a fly on the wall in those meetings this week to hear.
Tell everyone what you said about X.
No.
Leave out the profanity part.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I want to hear. I would have loved to have been a fly on the wall to hear them. To hear Xavier Howard stand up in the middle of that meeting and say, "Look, when they're going over their film, I want to hear Xavier Howard say, "Look, Flo, I got him. I got something for him.
DK?
DK. Let me handle him. I got something for him." That's what I want to hear from Xavier Howard. I want to see from Xavier Howard.
Because you know what would be impressive if he can? Stephon Gilmore couldn't. So
yeah, this is true. But look at this. Stephon can't handle Devontae either. But we know X is.
But you know what's crazy?
We know X has proven that he can handle Devontae at least in practice.
Let me say this to you. Obviously, he's not where he is in the route running right now, and his ability to sell routes. But DK and Devontae are very, very similar receivers, bro.
They are.
Very similar, bro.
They are.
Both have given Stephon Gilmore fits. So,
over Xavier Howard's career, it's not necessarily the bigger receivers that's giving him problems. It's those smaller, shiftier guys that have that
Tyler Lockett
are more refined and
Tyler Lockett would give him
right. Exactly. It's those shiftier, smaller guys that have given him issues over the course of his career. But again, now with that being said, I don't necessarily want to see him locked up in a man-to-man on any receiver or any of our secondary members for that matter. I want to see, when they opt to go man, I want to see Xavier Howard locked up on DK Metcalf a good portion of the football game. But again, the secondary as a whole, I don't want to see. I want to see what I saw in the Jacksonville game in terms of, a more diverse approach in this, pre-snap, post-snap, in their disguise.
Yeah.
So
we'll talk about that when we get into the
okay. Cool.
All right. So quickly, let's go over. This is bro. I wasn't lying. Does this not read like a manifesto right now? Look at the size of this injury report. So right now, Jamal Adams, Quentin Dunbar, and Jordan Brooks, the rookie, are all out. Chris Carson is questionable. Sounds like he's going to play. Shaquille Griffin's going to play. Carlos Hyde sounds like he's going to play. Damian Lewis from LSU sounds like he's going to play. Nico Thorpe's going to play. Lano Hill is going to play as well. Bro, this is a banged up team right now. And for a secondary that's pretty weak right now, Quentin Dunbar, even unlimited snap, he's not getting as many snaps as Shaquille Griffin, Quandre Diggs, and those guys, but Dunbar has made some plays with his snaps, and Jamal Adams has been the best player in the secondary. With those two guys out, Jordan Brooks as well, you look at this, and Bruce Irvin isn't around. You look at this team from when if I remember correctly, Bruce Irvin is out as well. This is defensively, bro. Those are some big names because they took Jordan Brooks pretty high as well, bro. Those are some big names that are out for them, man.
Yeah, it's the perfect time to catch them, bro. To be honest with you, they are a banged up team, man, and you saw it last week. I mean, they just struggled. And I get Dallas as a high-powered offense, but man, they just looked overwhelmed physically, but not just physically, but
can I tell you this? You brought it up. I forgot to say this earlier, bro. Dude, I saw a throw from Russell Wilson in that Dallas game, bro. I forget who came up the middle. I don't remember his name. I watched it earlier today. I'm not even lying to you. My word. This man jumped. The lineman jumped, got his hand all the way up, extended himself. So he must have been when you add in the arm length, he's probably over 8 feet tall, right? Buddy, flat-footed. Russell Wilson throws over him in 25 plus yards to Tyler Lockett and stride across the middle, bro. Flat-footed. Yeah. Flat-footed. Yeah. Didn't even need to set his feet. Just boom, gone. I was
He's ridiculous. And and attribute. I mean, and you look at the lack of, they're not running the football well. You know what I mean? They have one of the, in terms of pass protection, it's not like they have one of the better offensive lines in the league. He's constantly under pressure, and this dude is putting up these kind of numbers and making these kind of plays with, with all of these issues. And then we're not even discussing the defense or lack thereof. Constantly, you know what I mean? The defense is not able to stop people, so they have to score for. They're in a position where they have to score points just to be in games, and that is more added pressure you're putting on your offense as a whole, but definitely your quarterback.
Yeah.
So he's ridiculous. If Patrick Mahomes again, I still give the nod to Pat because he's the reigning Super Bowl MVP. But Russell Wilson is 1B, and he's not far behind this kid. So,
agreed.
He's ridiculous. He's ridiculous.
All right, let's get into some of the keys we've identified that it's going to take for our team to get the victory. We'll start on the offense.
Hang on 1 second, bro. Give me 1 second.
No worries. Yeah, Scotty Tuhati, Aldon Smith had a huge game. He got a good start to the season. So, I'll wait for him. We'll wait for Ian to get back. We'll go over the keys. Really, really impressed, man. Really, really impressed. How he's come back after not playing. What is it, 3 or 4 years? Man, and you know what? I'll say this. Aldon Smith was a beast in San Francisco, if anyone remembers him. He was legit. He was not someone to be played with back during that Patrick Willis era, man. That defense was something special. To be honest with you, just as a football fan, Patrick Willis retiring to me was just as sad as Andrew Luck retiring. Patrick Willis was a very, very special linebacker. Yeah, 4 years. That's crazy. You know what I mean? How's everyone doing tonight? Y'all ready for tomorrow? We're going to open it up, and we want y'all to come on and give us your predictions and let us know what y'all think is going to happen tomorrow.
Sorry about that, homie.
No worries, bro. But until then, let's get in. Let's start off with the offensive keys that we've identified here. So offensively, establish the run to keep them honest. We talked about this earlier. And I talked about this with Richmond Webb on the podcast. Even if you're getting 2.8 yards, keep them honest to the run. It opens up more of the playbook in terms of the play action, et cetera. It just, we don't want them just falling back strictly into coverage, basically saying, beat us, Fitz. You know what I mean? So, establish the run, keep them honest. And like I said earlier, if there was one game where Myles Gaskin was going to go out and put up triple digits in terms of yards, hopefully this is it, because if you also establish the run, the more effective you are in establishing the run, the longer you're going to keep Russell Wilson on the sideline.
I agree.
And another key is going to be, when you look at the analytics, and I mean, just logic and reason should tell you alone, no pun intended, but, drives are sustained, especially scoring drives are sustained and more successful the least amount of times a offense has to face third down, let alone be on third and long, right? Like that's just how it is. You look at Washington. Washington was the worst team in the NFL defensively on third downs, but teams still only converted 50% of third downs against them. So what you want to do is you want to limit the amount of times the defense even sees third downs. So, especially in long, because they're just going to drop back into coverage, right? It's pretty much known what you're going to be doing. So establishing the run is really going to be just like the people have seen us talk about it again, this is going to be even more imperative because of the offense we're coming up against. Yeah,
definitely. I mean, again, Russell Wilson is playing out of his mind right now. He's playing like he's the best player in the entire NFL at any position. Obviously, you want to minimize his possessions, his ability. You want to minimize that offense, the possessions of that offense as a whole. And you can only do that by establishing a run and also maintain that commitment to the run. I agree with Richmond Red 100%. I said that, multiple times that, okay, I understand, if you're not getting everybody wants to, gain 2,000 yards in a season. That's obvious. But again, even if you're not getting the production from a yards per carry perspective or just a yardage total perspective, you still have to maintain a high level of commitment because, again, just like Rich and Webb talked about, it keeps the defenses honest and it keeps them from scheming you. You're maintaining because you don't want to get in a situation where you're one dimensional against any team at this level. So again, you're keeping the defense honest. You're keeping them, forcing them to continually having to scheme for the run game, which opens things up and makes things easier for the quarterback, like you said, play action, et cetera, et cetera. So obviously, facing this high-powered offense, this is a very good approach. But again, I think when there's like I said earlier, the run game is definitely imperative, but there will be plays to make in the secondary. And I hope we see a continuation of what we saw last Thursday night, to where we get up on them. We start playing with a lead, you know what I mean, as opposed to coming from behind. Because when you do that, it just makes things offensively and defensively that much more easier from a play call standpoint. So I agree with this 100% on all three points.
Mm-hmm. So the next one we got is win the possession battle. And last week, that was pretty much a key for them winning by 18 points, 31 to 13 against Jacksonville. We dominated them in the possession game, right? We had 34 minutes and 22 seconds to 25 minutes and 38 seconds, almost 10 minutes, right? So again, especially against a high-powered offense like this, time of possession, just like establishing the run game, and the run game kind of leaks into time of possession. Even though Myles Gaskin only got 66 yards, we ran him 22 times. You could tell the gaps, the gaps and the holes weren't there as much in the second half as they were in the first. But they stayed committed, bro, because they were able to convert those third downs. We were really, really effective on third downs, bro. And here's one thing I want to throw at people when you talk about third downs, bro. Offensively, we're 13th in the NFL right now in third down percentage. We're converting at a 44.4% rate. So, if we can, if we are going to face third downs, it's imperative, I think, especially to keep the time of possession in our favor, that we're facing third and short, so we can get that first down and continue to run the clock.
Extend drives. Exactly. Yeah, absolutely. I agree 100%. Because you definitely want to minimize Russell Wilson's opportunities. Again, like I said, hopefully we're in a situation where we're up 14. We have a 2-touchdown lead to where, we can lean more heavily on the running game as like we did last Thursday night. Even though we didn't get the yardage that we desired, again, it's the commitment. It's the attempts, the commitment to, maintaining that level of commitment to the run game. Because I'm telling you, it just makes things, especially when you're playing with a lead, you want to salt away as much of the clock as possible. So, the objective should be to minimize Russell Wilson's possessions, his time on the field. And, I want to see that. And not just this game, but that needs to be applied throughout the season. Because, I've been consistently saying this is big formula.
It needs to become part of the offensive culture.
Exactly. This is a big aspect of us, us potentially having a successful season. So if they do that, they stay committed. Okay, I think it just bodes well overall for the offense as a whole, bro.
The one thing I will say though, right now they are, you look at Seattle, they're 32nd in the NFL defensively, with yards per game. They're allowing about 497.3 yards per game. They're 32nd in passing yards because of those 497.3. 421.7 is what their average allowance of passing yards per game is right now. That's why we're saying it's definitely feasible that Fitzpatrick can throw for 350 tomorrow. The one thing I will say, though, because we've highlighted the two offensive keys, this is what's going to be even more of a big sign. Guys, if we can get over 100 yards against this team, right now they're second in the NFL defensively against the run. They're only allowing 66.7 yards per game against the run. So, offensive line in the run game, this is going to be your test, rookies, right?
Oh, definitely. But again, like I said, I think the approach, there should be that balance should always be, that a high level of balance should always be maintained in this game because again, they're second in the league, against the run. So I don't necessarily believe. I mean, I'm hoping, but I don't necessarily believe, either one of our running backs that will be running for over 100 yards against them. But again, I mean, that's not that's not, as long as we maintain that, again, a high level of commitment to the run game, we'll be fine. Because again, like I said, there will be plays to be made against the secondary. We know what kind of players we have, what talent level we have at the skill positions. There will be plays to be made, but again, we need to maintain that balance. Fitz needs to be very careful and disciplined with the football, take the shots when they present themselves. Don't get in a position where you have to necessarily force things. So again, if we do that, I think we'll be fine in this game, bro. I really do.
And Rhino, I get what you're saying in terms of, they're so bad in the past that teams probably don't have to run. Just for an example, Ezekiel ran the ball 14 times last week. And I believe, if I remember correctly, he only averaged, I think it was like 2.4 yards per game. Per carry. So he only had 14 carries for 34 yards. Dak had to throw the ball 57 times because they really couldn't run the ball. Dak was their most effective runner. He ran 6 times for 26 yards. They didn't. They're decent against the run. They're good against the run.
I can see a lot of this game unfolding where, a lot of the responsibility has to fall on Fitz's shoulders. And, it's all about complimentary football.
He's going to have to put up 30 again for sure. If we can't keep them off the field, you know what I mean? All right, so let's get into the defensive keys to victory, guys. And here we go. Let's start off with the first one here. So, contain Russell Wilson to the pocket. I'll let you take this one, EM, because you were kind of alluding to it earlier.
Yeah, obviously, Russell Wilson's playing out of his mind. That's obvious. But Russell Wilson, he's, there's no holes in his game now. There's no really any glaring weaknesses in his overall game at this point. But with that being said, if you're gonna beat me, I still want Russell to beat me with structure. With you're gonna have to beat me with us keeping you confined within a pocket. I don't want Russell Wilson extending plays because we know how he just decimates defenses when he gets out of the pocket. You know what I mean? And he has that run or pass option when he's improvising. He's ridiculously, it's ridiculous how he just carves up defenses when he does that. So with that being said, I think we need to take that approach to where we need to confine him. We need to spy him at times, but we need to be multiple. What I want to see, and that applies to our front seven. Now, with our secondary, on the other hand, I don't want to see us, so much man heavy. I want to see a high level of. I want us to be multiple, very multiple in our approach, pre and post snap. I want to see obviously man. I want to see that. I want to see a combination of man and zone.
And I want to see man disguised as zone and zone disguised as man.
Exactly. I want to see combinations of both. I want to see combinations of zone and pressure. You know what I mean? Vice versa. I don't want to. You don't want to get in a situation where Russell Wilson is continuously identifying what you're doing pre and then post snap. That you don't take that approach with the great ones. So with that being said, I think the approach should be the same in terms of as the first 3 games in terms of keeping these mobile quarterbacks confined within the pocket. But the difference, what I want to see is I want to see the in terms of their coverage, I'm going to see a more multiple approach from our defensive coordinator. I will be paying attention to Josh Porter in this game, how he defends Russell Wilson.
Mm-hmm. All right, brother. Our next one here is we want to limit the run game. Now we know Chris Carson is banged up right now. It looks like he is going to play. Behind him, they have, of course, Carlos Hyde, who's kind of turned into a journeyman. They also have Rashad Penny. I believe Penny must have opted out, I think, or he's hurt. But they also have DJ Dallas on the practice squad, and they got Travis Homer as well. I think, again, this kind of limiting the run game while also getting to Russell a little bit early and often will keep him to the pocket. You know what I mean? So if you limit the run game and you also contain them to the pocket, now you're really putting it on Russell Wilson's shoulders, right? Now you're really challenging him, saying, hey, if your weapons are going to beat us, your weapons are going to beat us. So we got that identified as the second key. And then number 3 is an interesting one. Win the trench battle. Damian Lewis, brother, I went back and I watched some Seahawks coaches film. Damian Lewis has been very good. Mike Iupati has been very good. Jordan Simmons, when he got snaps, he's been all right. Their center's been very, very good, Ethan Bocic. But Dwayne Brown has also been very, very good. But I haven't been a fan of what I've seen from Brandon Shell. I really do think if you're gonna get to them, it's gonna be on that left side with Brandon Shell, bro. I think that's where you're gonna be able to create the most pressure off, because they're gonna rotate Mike Iupati and even sometimes Jordan Simmons. Might get a few snaps there too if anything happens to Mikey Pouty, but I think you're going to be able to create some pressure off that left side on their offensive line, bro. And I think that's going to be the key. If you can give Brandon Shell fits, I think because that's the blind side. I think you'll be able to make Russell Wilson feel uncomfortable, bro. So.
Yeah, that trench battle is going to be huge again, like it is in every game, every week. Obviously, I want to see improvement obviously in the run game. And again, start with Kyle Van Noy assuming a bigger role in that interior. As an interior player in the middle of this defense, no matter what formation.
Keep Baker to the outside. Situational pass rusher.
I'm hoping that Jerome Baker experiment in that format is over. But yeah, I want to see him continue to improve. Obviously, Trent, in every football game, it all comes down to the trenches, bro. And again, if they're coming out, obviously you want to make that offense one-dimensional. If Russell beats us, throwing the ball 50 times a game, so be it. 50 times this game, so be it. But we can't have Russell Wilson carving us up and them gashing us in the run game as well. That's a recipe for disaster. We can't have that. We have to take some component of the offense away. So I want to start with that. Hopefully we can start with that run game, because I think if we're able to minimize them on first and second down, or whenever they opt to run the football, that's going to put a tremendous amount of pressure. As good as he is, it's going to put a tremendous amount of pressure on Russell Wilson, just like it would be with any quarterback. But obviously, you want to take away the run game early and often and make them one-dimensional. And, at that point, you can get into, you're more, in terms of coverage, you can be more, quote-unquote, exotic or unconventional in your,
I had a brain fart too, bro. I had a brain fart. It's off the right side we're going to be in, so our left end.
Yeah.
I had a brain fart, bro.
Dwayne Brown's our left tackle.
Yeah, I don't know. And I had Iupati is on the left side. My bad, bro. I had that one right. I just had a brain fart for a sec there.
You good.
But yeah, that right side, our left side, is where you're going to be able to give them havoc.
And we can get them in third and long, bro, and we can scheme. Where the running game is not a factor, bro. Van Ginkel, I want to see Van Ginkel being deployed more in a role that we saw him last week on the edge in obvious passing type situations. You know what I mean? Van Ginkel, bro, I saw that. He was giving us a lot of, in terms of, I was listening to ball game earlier, and I agree with him. Van Ginkel, in terms of natural pass rush ability, in terms of him having, he's got a lot of ways that he can beat tackles at his disposal.
Bro, this is what I said. Use him in the middle too. You move around. Just
I agree. I agree.
You can use him situationally in the middle.
I agree. I agree. But in situations like that, I mean, you see the burst, the initial burst off the line. You see that natural bend.
Bro, see that natural bend. He's a playmaker, man.
He is. He is. Now, I don't want to see him there primarily, especially in obviously rundown type situations. Absolutely not. But again, when we minimize their run game and force them to pass, he's in terms of, again, natural pass rush ability and natural ability, that natural bend you see off the that speed, the spin move. I even saw him. He's better with his hand placement now. I saw him stand up and beat a couple linemen last week with power. I was like, damn, okay, I see you. I see you. So yeah, we can see him. Hopefully he have in terms of generating pressure on on Russell Wilson. Hopefully we'll see him this week. Show up and. But again, we can't do that until we take away their running game.
Yeah, and Stevie TV asked, "Hey, brother, Stevie, I don't know if you saw my my film analysis on Jerome Baker, but it was basically, I told y'all that the reason, what we saw in the first 2 weeks is why they probably moved Jerome out of the interior, and Van Noy was manning the interior, and he was calling out coverages and plays. He was your Mike for the most part last week. And then on the interior, rotating with him was Gruger Hill and also Landon Roberts. Landon Roberts had a rough first quarter, but he did play decent for the rest of the game. He gave you some decent stuff. But it's going to be Van Noy. He's been, Cal Van Noy has been pretty good. He's pretty good last week, bro.
Last 2 games.
Yeah, man. So it's going to be all about continuing. If you win that trench battle, the guys at the second level, especially if they're making the right reads, the game becomes a lot easier defensively if you start winning that trench battle for the levels behind you, right? So all about supporting each other, man. So one segues into the other. Before we keep going here, guys, smash that like button, subscribe if you haven't. If you'd like to donate to the channel, paypal.me/Phinside. Also, if you would like to become a Patreon member, because there are multiple levels to our Patreon, just follow the link that's on the screen right now, patreon.com/Phinside, the NFL. And as usual, I'm going to shout out our Patreons, our normal Patreons, Rhino Sith and Infinite Trauma, the original OGs, Fake Spike 94, Shake Money, Joe B, KLJ, Ramon Casillas, Seth, Mr. Two Bits, Miguel Angel Hernandez, Slim Pickens, Victor Scott Ramos, and Red Dino, and my bud, Ramon, because I know you told me not to say. Oh, sorry, Victor Scott. Big time, my bad. Big time. Victor Scott is big time. You got to change the name, brother, so I can remember that every time I roll through it. But yeah, I saw an interesting thing about Van Noy today, bro. In terms of how Van Noy right now ranks first among all linebackers with a pass rushing grade of 90.1 on PFF and 9 pressures through 3 weeks this season.
I saw that.
So something for y'all to take away about Van Noy has been stepping his game up, especially the last 2 weeks. So let's keep it rolling here, bro. Let's go in to the matchup we've identified for everyone to keep an eye on this week. And once again, it's a matchup of multiplicity, my friend, as we basically have identified the Dolphins' top 4 corners against the top 4 passing weapons, that being Noah Benogany, Xavier Howard, Nick Needham, and Jamal Perry against DK Metcalf, the man who me and EM think is the most underrated wide receiver in the NFL, Tyler Lockett, Greg Olsen, who's been super effective for them. And I was told EM privately, in my opinion, they've been using him in comparison to his days at Carolina when Cam was there. And then you got Will Dissly as well, who he's had a decent bounce back year. And if he didn't have that injury last year, he would have been right up there with Darren Waller as probably best comeback stories of in terms of out of nowhere stories last year. You know, how did you, when you look at this matchup to watch, bro, you know, what comes to your mind here, bro?
Yeah, it's going to be huge, man. This matchup is going to be extremely important, but you know, again, like we talked about privately, I don't necessarily, you know, I'm not necessarily coming from, you know, anticipating this matchup from a man-to-man standpoint. Again, I don't want to see 85, 90% man-to-man coverage in this game, and I want to see a more multiple approach in terms of their coverage. You know, they need to be, you know, I want to see them be multiple in their disguise, pre and post snap. I want to see a lot of man. Obviously, I want to see man at times, and I want to see zone at times. I want to see combinations of both. I want to see combinations of zone and bringing I can't even talk straight, and bringing pressure. So yeah, it's going to be extremely important. You know, obviously, you know, our secondary, they still have a lot to prove. In particular, Noah Benogany. I want to see him, you know, I want to see continued improvement from him, like I saw last Thursday night. You know, I want to see Nick Needham show up in this game. I want to see Nick Needham stick his chest out to everybody that, you know, that's been critical of him early on, and I've been one of them. I want to see Nick stick his chest out, bro, and say, y'all forgot about who I am. And I want to see him assume a bigger role and have a bigger impact in this game. So overall, the secondary, you know, I'm eagerly anticipating this matchup. But again, scheme-wise, I want to see the approach be a lot more multiple, like we saw them matched up against the Jacksonville Jaguars Thursday night.
I agree, bro. So I'm just answering Bacon's question right here, guys. I'll put it in the chat, and then I'll tell it all verbally for you. So basically, Seattle has lost the last 3 times they've been in Miami. In the year 2000, in the year 2008, in the year 2012. They actually haven't won in Miami since 1996. But on the flip side of that, the last time they played was in 2016 in Seattle, and Seattle won, albeit by 2 points. So there you go. You know, they don't, obviously because of where they're situated, they don't play each other often. But yeah, I agree with you, man. You know, this is going to be, you know, what worries me here is, you know, okay, X shuts down DK, you know, Lockett's speed and route running ability all of a sudden gives me worries with the names that are left right now. Nick Needham, you know, I'm a firm believer in him, but the last 2, you know, before last game, you know, he's had a little bit of a rough start to the season. Noah Benogany bounced back last week, so I'll give him that. Jamal Perry, you know, he ain't locking down Nick Needham, right? I'm sorry, Tyler Lockett, right? So, you know, and then this is where it comes into problem with me with Jamal Perry again. I don't think he can lock down Greg Olsen, bro. I think Greg Olsen could be a real problem for him. Same thing with Will Dissly if they're run out of the slot. So it's going to be interesting to see, you know, to be honest with you, I do have faith in X. I got faith that Nick Needham can have a good game. I got faith that Noah can build off his bounce back game last week. It's just, when I look at all 4 of those big weapons, and again, like someone brought up in the chat, I'm not including Freddie Swan there, who has been decent for them as well. You know, it could, especially if Carson establishes a little bit of a run game, you know, this could be a nightmare matchup in the making. So, you know, this is, like we said earlier, you're going to have to keep Wilson off Well, if you can keep Wilson on the sideline, you're going to limit. You're also going to impact the rhythm he can get into with his weapons. So again, this goes back to time of possession, establishing the run, man. Don't if you keep them on the sideline and don't let them establish a rhythm, you can win this game. And we talked about earlier, it's going to be 88 degrees at kickoff, but it's going to feel like 99. Pound them, man. And here's another thing I want to say. We need to bump off the line a little bit more. Especially if they're going to even think of putting a couple of the, a Jerome Baker back on the interior, right? So, beat these guys up as much as you can in that heat, bro. Make them not want to come out of the air conditioning in the locker room at halftime. You do that, you give them smash mouth culture football in a field like 99-degree heat. You can, you got a fighter's chance, like Damian D said.
You're giving yourself a chance. At the end of the day, that's all you want. So it's going to take a collective effort, like as is always in the game of football. And man, I can't wait for this one. Golly, man, I can't sit down and really relax and watch the football. I'll be working and watching it on my phone, but golly, man. But I think if we can get this victory, man, we can start to establish some momentum towards the season. We can start to build some momentum. And I think we could really, if we're able to get this win Sunday, man, that could bode well, bro. Like we can get on that, we can get on a run. Because I think if we're able to handle the Seahawks, I think we'll be fine against San Francisco.
Well, San Francisco's even more beat up.
Yep. So, man, we can get this victory and start to build momentum. Yeah. It'll bode well for the season, man. I truly believe that. So, but they, our secondary, they're going to have to be very, very disciplined. We can't see those breakdowns, like we saw with Noah last week. Got caught, and penalties. Got caught peeking in the backfield, and Minshew missed that throw. Russell Wilson is not. If that scenario happens Sunday, Russell Wilson's not missing that throw. So discipline, communication is paramount with Russell Wilson. It's going to take definitely a collaborative effort on all three levels of our defense to minimize, the production of this overall of this offense, man. So it's going to be fun to watch, fun to see.
Guys, we're gonna drop the link for y'all to come backstage, hop on, and give us your thoughts, your predictions of what you think, how you think it's gonna go down. We didn't really go over it before we went live here. I gotta ask you, bro, what's your score prediction for this game?
Man, that's a tough one, bro. I think it's a good question. Wow. Man. I'm going to say Dolphins 31, Seattle 28. I think the difference will be Jason Sanders, a field goal, a go-ahead field goal in the last, I'd say, 2 minutes of the football game. I think Fitz is going to lead them down the field, get them in field goal range in that 2-minute time frame. And I think he's going to, we're going to win by a field goal. And, it's going to be, I think it's going to be an up and down game. We're going to have to score points. We're going to have to, but I think ultimately the Heat, their defense, I think, will fold in the second half. And, I think we'll win by a field goal, bro. I think Fitz will have the ball. We'll have the last possession. We'll have the last possession in the fourth quarter. Well, then that 2-minute time frame fits. It'll be kind of what we saw, similar to what we saw last December in New England. And only this time we'll win with a field goal as opposed to a touchdown. And I think that South Florida Heat and their defense, they're decimated. They're decimated defensively. And I just think it's going to be too much at the end of the day.
Give me 1 sec, bro.
Go ahead. We have the reason just dropped the StreamYard link for everybody that wants to come on. I definitely want to hear, everybody's, hear a different perspective on the potential matchup Sunday. So y'all jump in and so we can get in here and engage and talk about what we could potentially be seeing on Sunday.
Sorry about that, bro.
No, you good, homie.
All right. So I'm gonna go a little bit. It's gonna be pretty. Well, I'll put it this way: it's gonna be competitive. I think I think we're gonna be able to establish the run to extent. I do think we are going to be efficient passing the ball. I just don't think we're going to be able to keep up with their offense. And so my prediction is 38-30 for the Seattle Seahawks. I think we're going to put up 30 points again. And I think it's going to be a game where people are going to come away from, yeah, we lost, but we were just competitive against a legitimate Super Bowl contender offensively. That offense can carry them to the NFC Championship. That's how good it's rolling right now. They're averaging 37 points a game. The lowest they've scored in 3 weeks is 35 points. I think they've scored 38 twice. So, I'm going to go 38-30. 3 touchdowns, 9 field goals, basically, with 5 touchdowns and a field goal for the Seattle Seahawks. That offense is rolling, bro. It's not only is it a well-oiled machine, but so is Russell Wilson, and that's a scary, scary thought, bro. And guys, let's hear your predictions in the comments.
You won't get too much pushback from me on that, bro. Too much. So it's gonna be tough, man. It's gonna definitely be up and down game, I think. Man, it's gonna be Yeah, I don't know what else to say, bro.
Rhino, what's your prediction?
Rhino, what's good,
up, boys?
homie?
Originally, I was thinking 38. Nothing, man. I'm really good. How are you doing?
Very good.
I was thinking 38-35 Dolphins, but the more I've thought about it, I think it's going to be 34-28 Dolphins. I think we're going to have a little bit of a lead, and I think they're going to come back, make a push at the end. But like you say, in the heat, I think that's when the heat's going to hit them, the temperature and humidity. It's always the humidity.
Burgess says Russell will throw his first pick tomorrow.
Ooh.
What's
Just
good,
one?
Sharif?
Just one?
Yeah, you're hoping for more. What's good, Sharif?
Sharif, what's going on, man?
You got to turn up your volume, brother. We can't hear you. You're really, really low.
I like the logo and the stand.
How about now?
Now I can hear you. Yeah.
This ain't the quiet storm. What's going on? What's good, homie?
Hey man, I'm loving it, man. I'm following everything. And in terms of what we've been talking about on the channel, and I'm noticing the regression in snaps in Baker given to Van Noy. Even Iguavan has taken some of his snaps. If you look at the past game, that means that Flores once again making changes. If you're not doing a job, he has someone there who can do it. That doesn't say anything bad about Baker. That just says that he has someone who can do a better job at this 20 or 25 snaps in the game. We need to win the game. We're not trying to impress Baker. All right. So all the Baker fans who think that we're just ripping on him and everything, we want the best 11. And so We get mad at Xavier Howard. We get mad at Fitz. Come on. So we want the best probable chance to win. That's all we want.
I know. Yeah. Hopefully, man. I tell you, I want to see Fitz. Like I said earlier, I really want to see. I think Fitz is prime to have a big game this week. We could see him. I think Reason might be onto something, and we might be seeing him throw for 350, maybe even 400 this week. You know what I mean? So, but yeah, I want to see Fitz have a big game so he can quiet a lot of these haters out there, man.
That won't quiet anyone.
The lack of respect they're giving to this man, it is just ridiculous.
No, my best thing is, can I say this? How the tables have turned. It went from, he must be a bust. He can't beat out Fitz in training camp to these clips come out. Someone tell me why this guy isn't starting exactly. Which side are we going on here, bro? Like I don't understand, bro. People out here flip-flopping more than a pair of sandals on a fucking beach, bro. Like, let's go here, bro. Pick a side and stick to it, man.
They have picked it. They picked both sides.
Bro, how you can't pick both sides, bro? You can't have your cake and eat it too, bro.
Man, some people.
God.
And again, those clips. That's 4 clips. I told the reason I talked about this privately.
They're beautiful.
Oh, they're beautiful.
Absolutely.
But let's be honest too. On that one, Shaq Calhoun got beat by Zach Seiler. That's a sack in the NFL. That first clip over the middle, that's a sack in the NFL because Shaq got beat so bad. Now I know why they cut his ass, but that's a sack. What was impressing me was the fades in the corner fades in the end zone.
Right.
That's what was impressing me.
For 10 years in the NFL, like he's throwing it forever.
Yeah, man.
And don't get me wrong, we all know how I feel about Tua, bro. Tua Tagovailoa.
As do I, bro. Me and EM drive the goddamn Tua train, okay?
Exactly. But at the end of the day, with people questioning why can't Tua get on the field, I mean, Fitz is playing at a high level right now. I told y'all when the season started, I said we could be sitting here this time next year talking about Ryan Fitzpatrick having a Pro Bowl level type of season. Y'all remember that? Do y'all recall that? And he is on a Pro Bowl trajectory
Remember people laughed when we talked about Rich Gannon?
Yeah, they laughed.
People laughed, bro.
So, bro,
Fitz had a Pro Bowl level second half last year.
He did.
That's why we were saying. That's right. That's the basis.
You were out on a limb. I'm not saying you're not bold or anything, but you're using your eyes, dude. He had a great second half.
And along with that, one off.
And I'm gonna put this on a shirt. Men lie, women.
Absolutely.
Men lie. The film don't.
And only one offensive line is left with us, after we emptied the offensive line. So that means the offensive lineman has progressed to give Fitzmagic this continuation of his progression that we like to see.
Bro, his past 2 games against the Bills and the Jaguars, bro, first of all, against the Jaguars, he had a completion percentage of 90%, so I don't know why people are coming for him. Second of all, he has 488 yards and 4 touchdowns and no interceptions in his last 2 games passing the football. Against the Bills, he had 66 completion percentage, and against the Jaguars, a 90 completion percentage.
Like reason, Rhino, Sharif. We had people, in our fan base that cried about the lack of big time production we were getting at Ryan Tannehill for 7 years. And you have it now with Ryan Fitzpatrick, and you just want to, just let him go to the bench. You want to put Tua out there just for the sake of just to be putting him out there. Do you really think Tua, a rookie, could come in that Tua could be before? If he was the starter, do you think Tua will be playing at this level this soon? Let's be real about it.
I feel it is more likely than not, but like 60-40. But I'm not willing to risk his career and his confidence by getting ruined to do that. Even though I may feel that way, I wouldn't risk it.
as the sixth overall rated quarterback in the entire. Did you
You're
not hear
right.
the praise? Did
You're
you not
right.
hear the praise? Did you not hear the praise that Pete Carroll? I told Reason this privately. Did you hear the praise that he heaped on Brown?
And
He said this dude is playing out of his mind. He's playing the best football I have ever seen him play. This is what Pete Carroll said.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm telling you, man, and you have a good portion of our fan base.
Yeah. What did Pete Carroll just do? He just broke down all of Fitzpatrick's film.
Yeah, exactly.
He's just coming up breaking down Fitzpatrick's first 3 weeks like me and him have done privately on the All-22.
Mm-hmm. And I just don't understand a good portion of our fan base. They just want to, we can't win with Fitz. How can you not win with a player, a quarterback playing at this level? How can you not win with that?
Their argument is he's not our future, so why waste the time? That's their argument.
Oh, it's ridiculous.
It's
ridiculous, bro.
We took 59 points in the past 2 weeks. Are we really wasting time?
That's not the way I see it. But
listen to this. I want y'all to check this out. We just shut down Minshew Mania after it was rolling, and the week before that, we were competitive against a team that's 3-0. We only lost by 3 points after giving up the most passing yards that quarterback of that team has ever gained in his career in a game. Yep. We still only lost by 3 points because just like the week before, this time it was on the air, not on the ground. Our defense couldn't make a stop when we needed them to.
And Fitz gave us the lead in the fourth quarter. We had the lead in the fourth quarter.
And think about this: the emergence of our slot receiver, I forgot his name, Isaiah Ford, and we don't have Wilson, and we don't have Hearns, and the offensive line is giving him some time to get it to the marginal receivers. I wouldn't call them marginal, but that's what we have left. And
someone said Tua was drafted to be a backup quarterback. What is going on in chat?
No, here's my thing. Someone called him a one-read quarterback, and yet in those practice clips, you saw him moving his head through his progressions and making throws. So you go figure that one out.
Yeah, and see, the one person that I saw posted these clips, and he immediately he made the statement that why is he not starting after one clip? That sounds very familiar to a guy I knew that anointed Josh Rosen as our starter after 2 throws. So, yeah, I don't know if it's the same individual we're talking about, but I can remember somebody on a different platform, making these buffoonish statements after one clip. They're not putting into context the entire training camp. Bro, at the end of the day, I want to see Tua just like everybody else. I do agree Tua is special. Tua is the better talent. But at the end of the day, Tua is not the better player at this point. We need to start respecting Ryan Fitzpatrick, period. The man is playing out of his mind. It's ridiculous. These fans, they kill me.
Especially, EM, I want your take on this as well. Is there 1 or 2 players? I have 1 or 2 players I want to trade as of week 6. Now, I know we're not tanking for Trevor Lawrence, but I'm just saying we don't need this player coming up in the free. I see y'all laughing inside already. I'm looking to trade as of week 6 Baker, and I don't see a need for what's his name?
Sharif.
Who's going to take him?
Hold on a sec. You got to back him.
No one's going to take him.
Shout out to Redano. How you doing tonight,
What's
bro?
up, guys? How you doing?
Before I go in on Sharif, I just got to say what I think. Okay, Sharif. I could have swore in the preseason he sat up here. And me specifically, and I'm not, this is I'm just trolling you right now, Sharif. Don't take this personally. I remember you being up here talking about Mike responsibilities and how Jerome Baker took them on no problem. And I told you that was just because there was no one else last year who could take them on. And now it sounds like Sharif.
I know, right?
It sounds like Sharif watched that film analysis video and he was like, oh, snap. That's what they were talking about.
But the thing is, we talk about this, for preseason. But the thing about it is, right? I'm following the Dolphins coach, and so we want the best 11 eventually. You know what I mean? Reason, EM, and guys. So I'm gonna be able to say, hey, Baker is not living up. I'm gonna see it as well, you know. But
your problem with Baker right now is, and if you go back and anyone watches the film analysis, in a defense under a coaching staff that preaches versatility on both sides of the ball, you can't even use him as a full-time outside linebacker. You can only use him in blitzing situations off the edge or on the line of scrimmage in between the defensive tackle and the end up the middle. That's the only way. He's literally Baker.
Yeah, I agree.
Baker is a situational blitzer and pass rusher. That's all.
And
how many?
I could have sworn somebody said that back in October. He's a sub-package situational type of player.
That's exactly what
I heard somebody say that. I could have sworn I heard somebody say that on this platform. I wonder, man. But anyway, but I'm sorry, homie. Go ahead, homie. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, the film analysis was awesome. First off, but say like how many snaps that he takes. I mean, obviously we saw that there's a ton of just absolutely horrendous snaps. Like, what percentage of his snaps total are like those type of plays, and how many are like in the category of, well, it wasn't a good play, but you know, it was okay, and then how many of them are actually like, wow, that was a good play from Jerome? Do you have any idea of like what percentage are like the extremely bad? Which ones are like the you know what? It wasn't great, but it's okay. We can survive with that play. And then how many were actually good?
Yeah, so I gave you. I think I gave you what, 18 snaps between two games. I turned away between pass coverage and I turned away about another 7 or 8. So you know, I would say, you know, usually on average you're looking between probably 60 to 70 snaps a game. I don't have the snap count in front of me, so you know, you do that. Let's average it out to about between 120, 140. So let's nail it at 130 in the first 2 weeks. So if I got 20, that's what? If I turned away 7 or 8. So let's take the lower. Let's take 7, add that on to the 18, 25. So you've got basically what? 20% of his plays
are just horrible.
Yeah, and you got to remember, here's the thing with the Patriots, and you know, the Bills didn't. If you go and watch the coach's film, the game plan for Bill Belichick and that defense was to attack that middle, specifically Baker. That's why so many.
And it's always that approach.
So many runs went by his shoulder as he was being stood up because they were just running right at him. And then, you know, the crazy thing to me was against Buffalo, not only did they not have to run the game. Not only did they not have to run the ball as much, they didn't really in the passing game. They targeted the middle, but in the running game, they didn't really have to because again, they didn't have to run the ball. But I still managed to get a handful,
a lot of
defense against the, you know, like even look at that Josh Allen 16-yard run. Here's a problem: you got a guy who he doesn't have. For me, at least the interior, he doesn't have a very high football aptitude. You know, his first read step sometimes turns into like a first read step and a half, and you're done, especially in a defense where we're not bumping guys off the line. So if your first read step isn't like on the dot, you don't have a lot of time to drop back into coverage and be successful. Jerome Baker, like I said, the film does not lie. Jerome Baker fans.
Do you think they're seeing something different in practice? Reason? I mean, like,
no, he got moved. If you look at Jacksonville, at the Jacksonville game, they didn't use him in the interior very much. It was Van Noy manned the interior, and then they rotated in Kruger Hill, Iguavine, and Landon Roberts, and he was used mainly out wide in passing situations. Bro, he's awful in the run game, bro. He's useless.
And you know what? That's my biggest question. And I talked about this a couple weeks ago. I don't understand why Flores keeps flirting. They have the film that's available to everybody else. Okay, you see the lack of production you're getting from this player week in, week out. What is he doing in practice
to earn
that will cause you to put him exactly?
The one thing that stands out. one thing that stands out on his tape is his athleticism and his speed. Like I've said before, he has elite closing speed. The problem is, dude.
Well, thank God after he's running those. When he's chasing down receivers.
Yeah, well, you can go that first week. He had 16 total tackles. 13 or 14 of them came from 5 yards and beyond the line of scrimmage.
Nothing ever behind the line of scrimmage. Nothing ever at the line of scrimmage.
No, that's my problem.
And if you listen to Flores' press conference, you'll hear him. He basically makes excuses for Baker. It's like, the reason why he's on the field.
Keeps hyping up it. Yeah. He keeps hyping up his versatility. He's tough. He's smart. He prepares. Why aren't you? I understand. Okay, if you like him as a person, whatever. But at the end of the day, bro, as a coach, you put the best 11 guys on the field. You've got minimal production from this player since he's been here. Since he's been here, and I don't understand
how many snaps do you expect this week?
He had 59 last week. He'd probably be in the 50s again.
But not deployed in that interior.
He had that many last week.
That's the thing.
But he's used out wide. He wasn't used in the interior.
Right. You don't.
Yeah, but I would still like to see that limited, even if he's not at the mic. I don't see Van Keaton
he had 57 against Buffalo and 61 against New England. So.
Man, hopefully that experiment is over. Hopefully it's over. But we'll see Sunday. But yeah, reason's not lying. When he was our primary guy on the interior, teams were looking for 55. They are looking. Every lineman, they're looking for number 55. I guarantee you, Bill Belichick, Sean McDermott, who's the coach of the Jacksonville? I don't even know who the coach of the Jaguars is. They're telling them in their offensive meeting, look, whatever you do, just look for 55. Just please. We can win that matchup 100% of the time. Period.
Easy read.
I just don't understand, bro. I don't get it.
I watched Deion Dawkins keep him out wide with one hand as he got his other hand free from disengaging on a block, and that was enough to keep him out wide. Then he got the second hand on him, and it was over.
Yeah, it's bad.
And see, one thing is alarming.
He's worth like half a block.
Like, bro,
one thing that's alarming to me.
Make that guy work. You can't not even win it. You can't even make that guy work, bro. You know how many times I got stood up like the Eiffel Tower, bro? It's ridiculous, man.
Another thing about Jerome Baker as well, what's alarming to me is I continuously hear Flores talk about how tough he is. I don't see a tough player on tape, bro. I see a player that does not like contact on tape.
I showed it in my film analysis. I showed back-to-back. Bro,
he runs away from contact.
No, here's the thing.
I don't understand where Flores is getting that from.
Here's the thing, bro. I showed him get running. Y'all actually paid attention to the film analysis. I showed him get beat in the run game by what? By tackles, guards, centers, tight end, and fullbacks. The only what? I got to go show footage of Sean McDermott and Bill Belichick standing this guy up and typing him out of a run play, bro.
Yep. Reason we have to ask the question.
I don't know why I keep going. I believe his name. What's his name? What's that guy's name? Jacobson for the running back for the Patriots. The guy with the dreads.
The halfback, fullback. I mean.
Yeah, the fullback.
Okay.
Jacobson. It's like Jacobson with, I think it's Jacobson.
It was 48 or something like that, or 45. Or
we have to ask the reason though. Is he freelancing? Because he isn't given a play.
Oh, he's making. You can tell he's overcommitting. He's making the wrong reads. Dude, go watch the film analysis. The first play I showed you. The first play I showed all of you in the film analysis was him getting taken out wide, over pursuing on the play action to the point where he didn't notice Cam. He didn't notice it was a play action and Cam had taken it up the middle. So Cam was already 5 yards behind the line of scrimmage and he was already out wide. with his eyes still on the running back when the running back didn't have the ball, bro.
And then
running behind the running back without the football.
You know what the thing he doesn't have to go along with the aptitude? He doesn't have great situational awareness. And you know what he doesn't have, which is a big thing with Mike. And when you're in a 4-2-5,
he doesn't have a heart.
No, and when you're in a 4-2-5 or 4-5, a big thing on that interior, besides aptitude and awareness, is you need instincts. And he doesn't have those instincts.
And
he never played the interior in high school.
Exactly.
And
I've been saying that since day one. I've been telling that since day one, bro.
I'll go back. What do I call the mic? I call the mic the field general of the defense because you're the quarterback of the defense. Jerome Baker, I showed y'all plays where he's telling people to take he tells Van Noy to take the running back out of the backfield. Van Noy nods his head. You watch Van Noy nod his head. What does Jerome Baker do? He vacates
right behind him.
Hole. He vacates the underneath hole, and he follows Kyle Van Noy. And he did the same thing with, I believe it was either Gruger Hill as well, bro.
That's freelancing. And he doesn't know how to even do that. But if you're freelancing, it's because you're athletic, like Ndamukong Suh. Ndamukong Suh freelance. It's because he disrupt the middle or cause two double teams.
You can
you know what? But you know what though? You know what?
Freelance from the interior of the defensive line. A middle linebacker when you got behind you on the third level, bro.
Right. And especially, a defense that prioritizes gap responsibility.
Yeah.
We
have a dumb freelance. That's what we have.
He just, Jerome Baker, he brings how I saw him play, Thursday night against Jacksonville. That's what you want to see. You want to see him in obvious passing type situation. You want to see him blitzing. You know what I mean? You want to see his responsibility greatly reduced and simplified because, again, no aptitude, no instincts, reading recognition, situational awareness is ridiculous. And on top of that, he shies away from contact. So
he's not an every down player.
Thank you.
Exactly.
That's
what you get.
I showed 2 straight plays, where they pulled Jacob Johnson. Oh, Jacob Johnson's the guy's name. Where they pulled Jacob Johnson over from a power I and an I formation. They pulled him over basically to take Jerome at the next level. First play, he didn't catch Jacob Johnson coming across his face. When Jacob Johnson engaged, Jerome's hands were at his hips because, again, he didn't have the instincts or the situational awareness. He kept his eyes on the backfield. He wasn't head on a swivel a little bit, right? Number 2, so Jacob Johnson gives him the wood. Number 2, the next play, bro, they run Jacob Johnson right back at him and and I'm going to stand up for this. What does he do, bro? Bro, he doesn't come in to square up and put his hands. Bro, what does he do? He drops his shoulder into him, bro. What are you dropping your shoulder into him, bro? You're bracing. Bro, you're sitting here playing the interior and you're bracing for contact from a fullback, bro. Are you for real with me right now?
Because it hurts more. It hurts more to physically stand a man up and ride him. That's why he's scared of it, man.
Yeah. And I'm telling you, I don't understand why Flores. It's alarming to me. It's alarming to me to hear Flores talk about how tough this player is. I'm not seeing a tough guy on tape. I'm sorry.
Hey,
I'm just not seeing it. Never have.
It's a 5th round pick by week 6, man. Don't say anything bad about Jerome.
God bless. I hope we do it.
We traded the wrong linebacker, especially with how the first.
Oh my God! And I'm telling you. Man, you look at the issues that this team has in the run defense.
Hey,
Raekwon has a role on his defense, bro.
No, but he was here. He was here last year, and he wasn't stopping anything. He was here.
No, that's where you're wrong. That's where he was.
He was there last year.
He was graded when he played. He was great in the entire NFL. He was graded the 8th best run linebacker in the run game.
Pursuing and doing the same.
No. That's where you're wrong. No. Raekwon Miller is a much more disciplined player than what Jerome Baker is. No, that's not true. I can't sit up here and have you say that, bro. You're incorrect on that.
Tannenbaum's pick, so I really don't want any of them at this point.
No, I'm not saying you want Raekwon as your primary guy, because of his limitations in coverage. But he has a role on his team because he can provide. You mean to tell me he can't give you what Orlando Roberts is giving you? You really? Did you ever see Raekwon McMillan of his duration as a Miami Dolphin? Have you ever seen him look that bad?
Or get choked? Or get choked?
No, that wouldn't happen to him. No, that wouldn't happen to him.
No.
Let's dig deeper into Chris Gray and Flores' head. If you're making excuses for Landon Roberts, and we know he's a fullback, really, he's a linebacker, and you got rid of Raekwon McMillan, and you're making excuses for Baker, what are you doing? What is your talent room thinking? That's what I'm trying to figure out.
I don't think he's that blind that he doesn't see what everyone sees. I just think he has a feeling that he will overcome it. I think that's how Flo sees it, for whatever it's worth.
Feeling, it's one of those picks
where he gave Rosen 3 games. He gave Rosen 3 games. So I told y'all. Hey,
oh man!
I told y'all by week 3. What did I say? By week 3, and it was right on schedule.
Bro.
Week 3, we will see the beginning of the end of this Jerome Baker experiment, and we saw it, goddammit, on Thursday night. So hopefully,
I agreed with what Tune said.
Tune is right. Yeah.
If Beagle wasn't injured, Baker would be on the bench by now. For sure.
Oh yeah, absolutely. You saw it. Vince Beagle was going to have a huge role in his defense this year. Huge.
Two.
So.
The 2 train, the Rosie train.
Two.
Yeah, check that. You ready? Watch this, bro. Right, you ready for it? Everybody aboard the Rosen train.
Yeah.
He's gonna start, man. God. He's gonna start.
I'm telling you, they gave Rosen a list of what he needed to work on. He improved. He's gonna start, and the very next day, the announcement comes across. Breaking news. Rosen has been cut. Oh my God, it was poetic. I tell you. Can't get enough of that.
And then for him to land on a practice squad, not even an active 53 man.
And did you see him? Did you see him last week in the stands, bro? Did you see him in street clothes in the stands?
No.
In that New Orleans game. Sorry, the week before it. Oh yeah, he was in street clothes in the stands by himself, bro.
Yeah, I know, with the mask on. You saw that.
But this is your franchise. This is the guy that you wanted the Dolphins to pass on Tua Tagovailoa. You know what I mean? This is the guy you wanted as your guy. He's the guy. Come on, man. Stop it.
Shout out to Mercenary. He says, love when you drop the bro bombs reason. Yo, honestly, I've made it part of my little on-screen gimmick, boys, and we got some merchandise that I've been slowly working on in terms of putting ideas together that we're probably going to launch on Teespring at some point. And I'll give y'all a little inside clip on one of the shirts that I got coming. It's basically your boy Reason doing a face palm emoji, and under it has one of my famous quotes of, "Are you for real, bro?" So y'all,
I can't wait to see EM.
Oh, don't worry. And y'all already know what the image on EM is going to be. The wording is going to be. I already know what the wording is going to be. I won't give it away. But y'all already know what the image is going to be over top of the wording.
Yes. You can make it before there somewhere.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God, bro.
I got a couple, and then we're gonna have I got a duo, like with me and him on it. Idea. We got some ideas, so we'll be dropping some merch on Teespring in probably the next few months.
Awesome.
Oh my God, bro.
So guys, just one more little thing. I see that we traded Stills, right? And I think Flores built him up a real bit after that little incident in practice where he played the rap music. So I think if he's building up Baker before the trade deadline, we could probably see. Yeah, I'm telling you, we don't want them to not think the asset is good. We want them to think we have a good asset to trade. And because I don't think he's a, we can find somebody who can give those 25, 30 snaps on that edge.
Look, I hope you're right. I hope you're right.
Find anyone to do that.
I just think Flo has a blind spot for the guy, dude.
You know something. I think Brandon Jones can be deployed as a linebacker and give you what Jerome Baker gives you. I'm dead serious. I'm dead serious.
He's been really good.
I'm impressed with him.
I'm dead serious.
I told y'all.
I'm dead serious.
I told all of y'all. After I said it was a bit of I didn't know if I liked the pick at 70. When I dived into the tape, what did I tell each and every one of you? That the best stuff I saw from him was when he was used in the box or when he was used in the slot. And when they've used Brandon Jones, I've also alluded you can use him as that high linebacker that you bring up. But when they've used him as a rover, when they've used him wherever in that box or in that slot, Brandon Jones has been exactly what he was on tape.
I know a bunch of Dolphins who wanted Ashton Davis. They wanted infield. They were overlooked.
Here's the thing. You're talking about different players because, first of all, me and EM both wanted Antoine Winfield, and I will go ahead and say this. Antoine Winfield has been hands down the best
I know, right?
in this draft class.
Man, that guy. Oh, my God.
With the tackling of Brandon Jones?
He's not better than Antoine Winfield right now, bro.
No.
If you're saying that, hold on, if you're saying that, that tells me you haven't watched Antoine Winfield right now, brother. I won't even hear that right now, bro.
But the tackling
Antoine Winfield has been one of the best secondary. Him and CJ Henderson have been not only two of the best secondary.
I agree.
They've been two of the best secondary players in the NFL in the first 3 weeks.
He is as advertised.
Yeah, Antoine Winfield is a baller. And Ashton Davis, bro, he just went to the place where, Jamal Davis wanted out, and that defense is an absolute freaking disaster.
The Jets, right?
I didn't want Grant Delpit, and I mean,
he's injury prone
because he got hurt, and he can't tackle worth a damn. I liked Xavier McKinney, but he got hurt too, right? I'm pretty sure McKinney got hurt. So yeah, man.
Yeah, we would have. We both.
Three safeties though; those aren't strong safeties.
Right.
But which is we were going to replace Bobby because he had Aaron Rose. They basically got Aaron Rose's eventual replacement right now.
Right. Because he's a strong safety. He just isn't. He doesn't have the body yet. EM, when he gets the body, when you see Brandon Jones build that man body on his shoulder, that could be potentially Ronnie Lott. Because the way I see him come out and hit.
And just his nature, he's so aggressive, man.
So I told you that's what
he had in common. They're both very aggressive.
Yeah, very aggressive. And he's not the player. He's not the player of Antoine Winfield. And Antoine Winfield is showing you that he's might be just one of those. I'm not ready to anoint him as a generational player just yet. But damn, this kid. And we've consistently told y'all last year. You look at this kid's tape at Minnesota, bro. He gives you everything. I think he can even give us what Brandon Jones gives us in terms of obviously the physicality. He plays in the box at Minnesota now. Now Tampa Bay is deploying him in that single high role in that Todd Bowles defense. But what he displayed on tape at Minnesota, he was a versatile player as well. A lot of people are sleeping on his versatility. Played a lot down at close to the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? Played, on the boundary as a corner at times at Minnesota. So he's shown you
on return kick.
Yeah, exactly. Reason turned me on that.
And he's deadly.
And think of this.
Reason sent me that clip. He said, "Dude, look, this dude can return punts too. Ooh, he can return kicks too." I was like, "Damn."
Yes, so, 3 drafted could return punts. And think of this, guys. Monogamy, right? He comes in, but Jamal Wills is playing better. And guess who goes deeper in the deep chart? A guy that we followed on social media all off season. Nick Needham, I thought he was going to take a step up. Dude, it's Jamal Wills. Jamal Perry, he changed his name.
Jamal Perry's been hit or miss. From what I've seen on the All-22, Jamal Perry's been okay. Nick Needham, the thing that hyped everyone getting on board for another step for Nick Needham was, if you remember, he had a slow start to camp. Everyone was panicking. Me and EM were telling all y'all, chill. And then every reporter was out here saying for the last 2-3 weeks of camp he was the best player on defense.
Right.
So the media, because we didn't have access and we had to lean on what the media was telling us, I mean, they must have seen something that we aren't seeing right now.
I think Needham will be fine, but I mean, the game that he struggled against.
He had a slow
did you see
last year too, bro?
And yeah, exactly. But did you see? But did you see last week the plays that those receivers of the Buffalo Bills were making against their Rams secondary, including Jalen Ramsey?
Yeah.
So let's pump the brakes on one to end the Nick Needham experiment. Come on, maybe we need to give Buffalo a little more credit on how good they are. You know what I mean? So as a trio. Yeah, I agree.
And we
I agree. 100%.
We haven't seen a complete game with Jones and Xavier.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're talking about a team. What exotics like reason was? I think 90% of exotics against Jacksonville, because we had the lead, right? Basically, but 90% exotics. Imagine if we had Jones and Xavier.
Yeah.
But we need to see some things. What I'm saying is, I don't want Baker messing it up. I don't want Baker and them messing it up, man.
Yeah. Calvin, like I said, reason I talk about this privately, I think, and again, I don't understand. You sign a player like Calvin, or you're familiar. You're as familiar with him as anybody in the league. Seen him firsthand since he's been on the team in New England. You give him that kind of contract, and these are the questionable things that if I had Flores' ear for just 20 minutes, I don't understand why you're waiting till week 3 to deploy him to make him the centerpiece of your defense. I don't understand that. He's best deployed. He's best deployed from the inside out, and they were trying to deploy him from the outside in. It's not his game. I just don't understand that. So again, that's what I want to see. I want to see that. I want to see him being deployed exactly what I saw, even more of what I saw against Jacksonville. He needs to be in terms of the front seven, he needs to be the centerpiece of this defense. He's that good of a player.
And I got to give Greer an A on the offensive line, man. Greer, I got to give you credit, man. No excuse. Fitzmagic has the time, reason. What do you think? He has the time.
Yeah, the only thing I want to see from the offensive line is I want to see those holes and the run blocking be a little bit more consistent in the second half. And, they come like bats out of hell the first half, and I'll give them the pass on the first game because, again, in the third quarter, our defense could keep New England off the field, and they only had a minute 25 possession, so what can you do? But I want to see more consistent in the run blocking in just the second half. I'm very pleased with how the first half has been. I think if we would have got the same run blocking we got in the second half that we did in the first against Jacksonville, we probably would have already seen Myles Gaskin first 100-yard game. But look at it took Mac Hollins' boy, EM's boy Mac Hollins to come on for Myles Gaskin to have his best run in the second half, the one that basically capped the game off.
Fourth tight end.
Yeah, so when they took that kind, if you got to use those kind of wrinkles in the fourth quarter to get the run game established earlier than waiting for, you got to get first downs to win the game. Use it earlier and often because we can't afford to be leaving those kind of wrinkles till the fourth quarter against the Russell Wilson led Seahawks.
And shout out to my hit a coffin corner punt in the game. That was a decent coffin corner punt. And that's a lost art.
Yeah, Matt Hack's been phenomenal.
Yeah, I love it.
How you pronounce his name? Yeah, he's been phenomenal in terms of punting. He's averaging like over 50 yards per punt. Wow, I think it's like over 52 yards.
We don't talk about the punters. Yes, we big up the punters.
No, he's been good, man. He's been pinning teams back, bro. He's been.
What about our long snapper? Come on. Who enables him to do that? The nice snap.
This guy. All right. All right. You guys got anything else you want to cover?
I'm good.
No,
put
man.
some respect.
Maybe
Please stop.
we
Please,
talked about Greg Olsen earlier in the matchup to watch if you go back.
please
I'm
put
gonna
some
go and
respect.
listen to the podcast. That's what I gotta go and do because I was at work.
Oh, yeah. Again, guys, if you haven't heard it yet, I have a new podcast out with Richard Webb and Phinside, the NFL fan, Mr. Ballgame. Our first, I'll bring the link up after EM says what he's going to say, but our first episode dropped. You can find it under Dolphins Brawl. It'll be the latest episode on all your major podcast outlets, Podbean, Spotify, iTunes, etc. Anyways, EM, go ahead.
Please put some respect on Fitzpatrick's name. Please. Stop disrespecting that man. Give that man his just due. That's all I gotta say.
I think he should run more. If he doesn't have it, run because we have a good offensive line. Run.
What you mean? Step up in the pocket and just tuck it and go?
If it's because we don't have much receivers. That's how I'm looking at it. Wilson's gone. Hearns is gone. We got a banged up Parker. If you don't have it much of the time, don't force it. Run your ass off. You're doing a good job of that.
I agree,
bro. All right, so let's go through final thoughts. We'll start with you, Sharif.
Oh, that's my final thought. You guys are doing a fantastic job.
And then we'll save you for last. Rhino, you got any final thoughts?
You going live tomorrow, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna go live during the game. Yeah.
Okay. Well, I'll see you tomorrow, and go Fins. Hopefully, we'll have a very good game, and we can celebrate your 100th episode tomorrow with a victory.
Yeah, it's gonna be 100 episodes tomorrow, bro. I'm gonna get something special put on the banner probably.
It's flown by, man.
I know. I can't believe it, bro. And just guys, before we get to EM, just to show y'all exactly how it's going down here. This is the Spotify. So y'all go to Spotify, Dolphins Brawl right here, and the first episode, the starting line, right here on the inaugural episode of the finish line. Host Reason, Richard Webb, and Mr. Ballgame. It's about 41 minutes. Y'all should enjoy it. We're going to be dropping it. This episode came out on Friday. We'll be dropping it every Thursday. I blasted it all over Facebook. The response I've been getting is pretty good on Facebook. So if you guys got time, we also previewed the Week 4 game with Richard and Webb on this. So if y'all want to go check that out, go give it a look-see, guys.
All right.
Yeah, let's get your final thoughts, brother.
Y'all make sure y'all go check that out. It's absolute fire. Absolutely fire. But just want to say, please put some respect on that man's name. Please.
Who?
Please. Fitz, baby. Fitz. Fitz. Give that man the respect he deserves. No, seriously. Now, just looking forward to that. Damn, I have to. I won't be able to sit down and, really focus and just sit and watch it.
If you want to watch it not during your work, I could send you a link.
No, I'll be able to see it on my phone, but I'm just saying at home. You know what I mean? Where I can act a fool, accordingly and
enjoy a beer.
And be, yeah, exactly. And man. But anyway, I'll be playing. I'll be focusing on the game. I'll be able to see it, but you just won't be at home. But yeah, I'm just looking forward to tomorrow, and hopefully, man, we can get that win and start establishing some momentum.
Well, you may actually be bringing in a streak. The more you stay at work and you catch the post game, the more we win. So you need to go to work.
I hear you. But yeah, man, I think if we get that victory tomorrow, man, we can, it'll bode well in terms as far as us establishing momentum as the season is concerned. And yeah, man, let's just get it. Fins up, baby. Fins up always.
Hold on a sec here. CB83, did you get that 25% off code applied to your previous purchase or for a new purchase? He's just asking me here if I got my Tua jersey yet. If you guys remember, I ordered my Tua Aqua throwback 20 minutes after it hit NFLshop.com, and they told me December
2021.
Now October 3rd, and I don't think they were lying when they said December, bro. Holy. Yeah, again, guys, smash that like button. Subscribe if you haven't. Wow, Iowa State won that ball game. How did Brock Purdy look? I watched a bit of that before I went live.
Purdy looked Purdy.
Yeah, Purdy's a beast, bro. I'm telling you, Purdy's going to be a stud.
They said he passed Lawrence in terms of talent, hey?
I'm sorry, say it again.
They said he passed Trevor Lawrence in terms of talent, hey?
Brock Purdy? They're high if they said that, bro. The only one that can contest, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to make a bold take. Guys, the best quarterback in college football right now, and hold on, let me check here. Hold on a sec.
A couple, I forgot the...
Kyle Trask, I made a couple really bad throws today, man. Really, really bad throws.
Not Matt Brown. Well, Matt Brown is the good quarterback. They're even questioning Tua. They're like, what did Tua?
You want to know who the best quarterback in college football right now is? And I'll take
Lance.
Nah, bro. Sam Howell. Y'all can take that to the bank. Sam Howell from UNC. I watch this guy. I'm telling y'all, if y'all remember Peyton Manning, right? When Peyton Manning used to sit in the pocket with his feet, you remember that hop step he used to have as he went through his progressions?
Right.
Sam Howell had that as a freshman. Sam Howell's now in his sophomore year. Sam Howell was the one who almost beat they almost beat Clemson last year. They only lost by 1 point, and he was a freshman. So, I'm telling y'all, Sam Howell, if you break the take, Sam Howell makes throws. It's just, bro, he doesn't have Dabo Swinney and and all the weapons that they have over there, right? So I'm telling you, the Sam Howell, watch, this kid is going to be more special. And if he gains body, Jaden Daniels from Arizona.
So you're saying he's going to have the better or best NFL career is what you're saying?
No, I think
where he's going to get drafted or –
Yeah. I think Sam Howell, when he comes out, is going to be a better NFL prospect.
Okay.
Than what Trevor Lawrence is the day he comes out. Like, basically what I'm saying is draft-ready Lawrence, I don't think will be as good as draft day Sam Howell. Now, what they do in the 2, 3, 4, 5 years beyond that is up to the coaching staff and the situation they fall into. I'm just saying, Sam Howell, I'm telling you, man, this kid is freaking ridiculous, man.
And a good example of that is Burrow had 9 people left to the NFL with him, and he's still doing good with sucking Cincinnati.
Yeah.
Well, people want to, they don't want to give Cincinnati credit, but I told y'all from day one, Cincinnati has talent at the skill positions, bro. He's got talent to work with. So, I'm not saying that, it's all his what he has around him. Burrow is making the plays, when they present themselves, and you got to give him tons of credit for that.
But everybody was open in LSU. They were saying Tua too.
Yeah, well, but what I'm most impressed with at this stage with Burrow is his overall command of the offense, and it's like the coaching staff have placed 100% of that responsibility of that offense on his shoulders, and you never see that with a rookie player in his third game, second, third game of the season. You never see that. That's highly impressive to me.
He's making like $42 million. He freaking better.
Well, I mean, you get a lot of quarterbacks that come in that fall flat on their face, bro. They can't handle that. They can't handle that. They can't handle that kind of volume. They can't handle that kind of volume. Baker Mayfield, look at the player that Baker Mayfield was, and look at how they scaled things back with him. Okay, and look at the player he is now.
Yep.
Every player cannot come into it. Even 10-year veterans struggle in that aspect. And for Burrow out of the gate to be this refined is the most impressive aspect of his game. Because I knew any quarterback, again, they have weapons at the skill positions. They're very talented wide receivers.
Here's the thing, Em. I know you've watched them closely like I have. Let's compare him to Rosen for a second. Okay, just for a second. No, just for a second. No, but just for a second. Go ahead. Including AJ Green, Joe Burrow has suffered from bad receiver play a lot of the time this year, bro, in terms of drops in terms of guys not making easy catches, bro.
That's true.
Like,
That's
and
true.
Burrow's still protecting the ball, and Burrow's still keeping them competitive, and Burrow's still putting up yardage, bro.
I agree.
Now we were saying Rosen was going to flash like Burrow, but this is what we were telling all of y'all when everyone kept sticking to the drops. It's one thing to suffer from drops, but even quarterbacks who suffer from drops, they're still going to flash. Now, I'm not expecting Joe Burrow doing more than flashing. Let me get that right out of the gate. But, even with drops, a quarterback shakes that off and goes out and makes the next play, bro.
And his progression is there.
Bro, and his pocket awareness right now.
It's ridiculous.
So my question is,
it's ridiculous.
Very good, man.
It's ridiculous.
So my question to the three of y'all is, who has the better progression awareness, Tannehill or Josh Allen? Shouldn't take you long.
It's Josh Allen, bro.
They're on the same level, man. They're on the same level.
No. That is one aspect of Josh Allen's game that I've seen tangible improvement in. Tannehill is still, in terms of pocket awareness, he's still the same player we saw. He's still the same player we saw in Miami for 7 years.
Yeah, I watched the play. The guy was right next to him, whispering in his ear, and he didn't even notice him.
Man, he's still, in that aspect. He's improved in other areas of his game, but pocket awareness and feel of the pocket, he's still the same player we saw, bro. He's still the same player.
That tells you that a player can't even grow in that aspect, like Baker Mayfield. He can't grow, so they have to scale him down to below a game manager. And I hope, and I know when we unleash Tua will be everything that a Joe Montana, an Aaron Rodgers.
In terms of,
I'll tell you this. Hold on, sorry, Yem. I want better than Joe Montana. Joe Montana did not have a very good arm.
Sorry, Steve Young. I meant to say Steve Young.
Yeah.
Oh well, that's gonna be hard. That's gonna be hard to do. Getting better than Joe Montana.
Joe Montana didn't have that great of an arm, but
he had average strength.
He had winner's DNA, and he had a really, 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 really good team on both sides of the ball around him.
Well, that's legitimate.
I'll take that.
But again, but you can make that legitimate argument. They would not have been the players that they turned out to be without Joe Montana.
Yeah.
So there's a flip side to that coin.
What my indictment on him is when you heard Bill Walsh talk about Marino. And
he was talking about from a talent standpoint.
Yeah, but he clearly made it known that I could have won more championships with Marino than I did with Montana.
Oh, definitely, because Marino was so far superior talent than Joe Montana.
Not only did Montana have all those weapons, what did he also have that was new and innovative, bro? The West Coast offense, bro. No one knew how to defend that for the first couple of years, bro, when they were successful. So not only did he have greatness around him on the field, I mean, look at the amount of Pro Bowlers, but he also had Bill Walsh, who offensively was one of the most offensive schemes of all time that's still utilized heavily to this day.
But I do see a lot. I see a lot of Tua's game in that I saw in Joe Montana in terms of like anticipation, accuracy. Because
that's what I was going to say. Anticipation,
and pocket awareness, pocket presence. He's got the level of mobility. Joe Montana wasn't the best athlete on the field, but he had enough mobility to extend plays, and he was deadly when he got outside. He was in that improvisational type of role, deadly. So I see a lot of Tua's just left-handed. I see a lot of similarities, and I hope. This is where me and Reason part ways. I mean, I would hope he would be better than Joe Montana, but damn, you talk about arguably the best we've ever seen at that position. Those are lofty expectations, bro.
I can name 4 off the top of my head that are better than him, bro.
I'll take Montana every day.
I'll take Marino over him. I'll take Tom Brady over him. I'll take Peyton Manning over him.
Maybe.
And I'll take Aaron Rodgers. I'll take Aaron Rodgers.
Maybe. I'm leaving. Well, I'm agree with Mr. Marino. Again, I think Mr. Marino is the greatest pure passer I've ever seen.
And number 2 is Aaron Rodgers.
And number 2 is Aaron Rodgers.
Rodgers is the freak.
Mahomes is looking like he wants to come for the title.
Yeah. He's coming. But
if you can give me any of Murray scrambling and keeping the play alive,
Montana
can give me any of that.
Joe Montana's hands down a top 10
but
quarterback of all time.
The biggest thing you guys are forgetting about Montana is that he had to physically overcome a lot of stuff.
And I would even put John Elway.
Don't forget what Montana had to go through to become what he had to get through. He had to go through the Giants. He got physically beat up. His back was practically broken in half. He came back from that. There's a lot of dog in Montana. A lot of dog.
Oh, I'm not denying that.
No, I know you're not. I'm just saying sometimes people forget.
You like look at Elway. Look at how bad the teams were around Elway in the 80s.
God, Elway too. Holy man.
And then they put a legitimate team around him. And this man at his age went out and won back-to-back, no issue, bro.
Yeah, but he did. It wasn't the John Elway we saw in the previous Super Bowl.
Oh, no.
Was a much more scaled down version of John Elway.
But
much more scaled down version of Elway.
Look at the talent you had around him, including Terrell Davis. You didn't need to send him out there and throw 30 or 40 times. But what I'm sitting here saying is, if you would have gave him comparable talent in the 80s to what Montana had, Elway. I think he would have.
Don't get upset with me,
bro.
Don't get upset with me. Marino would audible out of the run play. Okay, he would. That was his biggest issue.
I don't know that.
No, I'm just saying.
1,000.
Could Walsh have corralled that stallion as Marino? Could he have done it?
Because it's a different offense, bro.
Yeah. It's a good argument.
It operates in a totally different way. You can't have that, bro. You won't be effective offensively.
I agree.
I agree. Elway. Now you have players that are more physically talented. From an arm strength standpoint, Elway obviously, Marino obviously. I'm not putting Brady above Montana or Aaron Rodgers. Pat Mahomes, but I mean Montana was. He played with Hall of Famers.
He had. That's where the Brady and him comparison is. They had the most comparable winners DNA that we've seen at that position, bro. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? That's the thing that separates. That's the thing that separates good from great, bro. Is having that winners DNA, bro. That's why that winner in him is what made up for his lack of arm strength, bro. You know what I mean? Also in the ball placement and anticipation you talked about and the talent, but he was a winner, bro. He was one guy who the last play never shook Montana, bro. Didn't matter what.
Think about this for a minute. As gifted in terms of arm strength as Elways of the world, Pat Mahomes,
Rodgers,
Marinos, Aaron Rodgers. You look at even though they were more talented than Montana was, but was it an issue? It never was. Arm strength was never an issue with Montana. He could still make every throw.
Yeah, he could.
It was never an issue.
Deep ball, mid ball, outs.
It never was an issue. So when people talk about when they put these more physically gifted players above the lesser talented players, you have to ask yourself, when you look at a player like Montana or Steve Young or Peyton Manning didn't have a big arm. An issue. Was an issue. And these players are overcoming despite their lack of quote unquote arm strength.
Right.
They're putting up Hall of Fame type careers in spite of their lack of arm strength. So it wasn't an issue. So that's a moot point when you're putting players more physically gifted than other players at any position, really.
No,
we're talking about the quarterback position.
You're talking about a guy who, Joe Montana only threw for more than 30 touchdowns once in his whole career. Mm-hmm. Right? You're talking about a guy who on average was 27, 26 touchdowns and 10 to 13 picks.
And he had Roger Craig.
He wasn't blowing you out in the regular season, but it was and then the same thing kind of continued, when you look at, those first two championships that they got, right? He only threw for 6 touchdowns one year, 7 the other year, but then he had 4 interceptions when he threw 6, and he had 5 when he threw 7. But then you go his last 2 championships, he threw 8 touchdowns, 1 pick, and 11 touchdowns and 0 picks. So that was the thing. I think because a lot of people don't, it's not just a talent level, it's he didn't have the ability to push the ball into the end zone like those other guys did.
Well, not necessarily. But I think you have to ask, what was he asked to do? San Francisco has always been when Montana was in his prime, they've always been a more balanced type of team. They didn't put all of the responsibility on Joe Montana, like you saw with Marino, like you saw with Peyton Manning, like you saw with other quarterbacks.
Bro,
you got to take that into account as well.
Yeah, bro. I'll tell you this right now, and because I just pulled it up. So, just for example, in '81 when they won their first Super Bowl, he threw the ball 488 times. In '83, he threw the ball 515, and he only had 26 touchdowns to 12 interceptions. In '84, again, when they won the Super Bowl, he threw it 432 times. The year after, 494. In 8 games the year after, in '86, because he got hurt, he still threw it 307 times. In 13 games, and he only started 11 in '87, he threw the ball 400 times, right? So he was still throwing the ball. Like, look at this. 1990, he threw the ball 520 times. He had 26 touchdowns, and he had the most interceptions he ever posted in the season.
Where is that? Was that his Kansas City year?
No, that was in San Francisco. That was his. He came to Kansas City in '93. So that's another thing. And here's the winner's DNA. He went to Kansas City, and again, the year they went to the playoffs.
There's no way that team should have got to the AFC Championship game. No. There's no way.
But they went back-to-back playoffs. Again, nothing. In '93, he started 11 games. He played 11. He had 298 attempts, 13 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. '94, when they went back to the playoffs, he started 14 games. He had 493 attempts, 16 touchdowns, 9 interceptions. So that just wasn't. He was never a 30, 40. He's not going to get you 30, 40 touchdowns, bro. He's going to be efficient. You know what I mean? Like his completion percentage is usually, like in the low 60s too. So low to mid 60s. So he's just going to do the little things, bro. That's all he's going to do, bro. He's not going to light up the stats sheet and light the world on fire, even with Jerry.
I mean,
this is the playoffs.
Exactly.
Yeah, but dude, do you know how? Yo, I want all of y'all, when we're done here, go research how many Hall of Famers were on both sides of the ball. It wasn't Montana, guys. Sure. He was a part of it, 110%. He was a major contributor, but there were a ton of major contributors on both sides of the ball.
I agree.
That's why I think they're the best teams ever. That's my personal opinion.
They're considered like they were a dynasty in the 80s, right? They won 4 championships in a 10-year span.
Yep.
But you look at, okay, you take Montana off that team and you insert Steve Young. As great as Steve Young, he's a Hall of Famer for a reason. But he only got 1 championship out of a lot of the same players that Montana had. And the team that
the league was changing too, though. The league was changing with Young. It was becoming a different league at the same time.
But they were consistently in the playoffs and challenging for the in the NFC title game, but they never got there.
Yeah, but you know what they ran into, bro? Now Dallas was turning into the powerhouse, bro.
Right.
They ran into
that's a legitimate argument.
And here's the thing, bro. Remember when Steve Young won his championship? It was, and then the next year Dallas won. Who was the player that was on both teams and
Deion Sanders.
Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
And they beat San Francisco with Deion in the NFC Championship.
But I think that team was so talented, 94 49ers team. I think Montana would have gotten more than 1 championship out of that team, no matter what Dallas did and no matter who they brought in.
That Dallas team,
wow.
I truly believe that team, that 49ers team, even the only difference was Deion Sanders. That was the only difference.
Yeah.
But that team,
Deion was with Dallas too, so it becomes really complicated.
Yeah,
dude, that team, that 49ers team, bro. Dallas was equally as talented, but I think, Montana would have made a difference.
When you think about
championship out of that.
When you think about quarterbacks who could push the ball down the field, I think of
and that's a legitimate argument. That's the reason we talked about this privately about the Drew Brees comparison. Why he hasn't won more consistently in terms of Super Bowls since he's been in it, over his Hall of Fame type career.
Who? I didn't hear Ian. Who?
That's a good point.
Drew Brees. Because of his I'm not talking about the regular season. I'm talking about come playoff time.
Yeah.
Because his inability to consistently push the football down the field.
Yeah.
And when you talk about guys who could push the ball downfield, I truly, truly respect Jeff George and Warren Moon.
I respect Moon.
I respect Warren Moon,
not
Jeff George.
I never heard someone say they respect
Jeff George.
I know, right?
For where he was drafted and the Colts making that decision, he was a bust, bro.
Yeah.
Oh, clearly.
With the run and gun
bust.
reason, I know you heard about the run and gun.
Yeah, of course. But, bro, Jeff George was a bust, bro.
Oh, he was a bust.
Clearly.
Can push the ball downfield?
Yeah, he can push it. Remember, wasn't he the quarterback that year? Atlanta went to the Super Bowl with Jamal Anderson.
Jamal Anderson.
No, he was on that team.
Was it Rippin? Wasn't it? No, not Rippin.
No,
I thought it was Jeff George that year.
No, it wasn't Jeff George. Who was it?
I don't remember who was the quarterback of the Atlanta Falcons the year they went to the Super Bowl with Jamal Anderson when he was a beast.
When they faced Denver, right? The Denver Broncos. It was
the Dirty Birds, I think.
He's right. Manuel Rivera's right. Chris Chandler.
Chris Chandler.
Yes.
Chris Chandler. No wonder we didn't remember his damn name.
Blast from the past.
Chris Chandler.
Holy crap!
Wow.
You can put him up. You can put him up there with the memorable quarterback battle of Trent Dilfer versus Kerry Collins.
Wow, Kerry Collins.
Right?
Oh, do you remember that Super Bowl, guys, where Kerry Collins just got out of rehab?
Mm-hmm.
Remember he got out of rehab?
Hey guys!
Oh my god!
Kerry Collins could sling it though. That dude had a crazy arm, bro.
Yeah.
Penn State. And what's his name? The running back.
That New York team was just so outmatched by that defense. It wasn't even close, bro. Yeah. All right. So we prolonged it about 15 minutes.
So, that's EM's fault.
No, it's all good. So my final thoughts here are, guys, we'll be back tomorrow. I'll be back live during the game. Maybe if something big happens, EM will dip in if he ends up getting free or not. Smash that like button, guys. Subscribe if you haven't. We'll be back Monday after the game for the post-game show. If you'd like to donate to the channel, guys, paypal.me/Phinside. And again, if you want to become a Patreon, patreon.com/Phinside the NFL. And I just want to give a shout out to the homie Fake Spike 94, because if it serves me correctly, he just made a donation. He made a $5 donation, and he said, "I need a Phinside the NFL hoodie, bro. It's cold in November in Jersey. Much love, bro. Don't worry."
Shout out to you, homie.
I'll tell you this,
Shout out to you.
by the time we get to, or just after 2,000 subscribers, I'll be bringing merch out for you guys.
What time are you going live tomorrow, Reason?
I'll probably try and be live. No, Carlos, I haven't got my Tua jersey. Looks like they weren't lying when they said December. I will be going live probably, guys, around 12:30, 12:45,
right.
Half hour, 15 minutes before the game starts.
Right.
All right. And then, guys, again, Spotify, Podbean, iTunes, wherever you listen to your podcast. Go search Dolphins Brawl, the latest podcast, The Finish Line featuring me, legendary Dolphins tackle Richmond Webb, and fam of Phinside the NFL, Mr. Ballgame. We have a new podcast that's going to be dropping weekly. It's about 40 minutes. Go check that out. Our first episode is called The Starting Line. So go check that out, guys. Support us. Keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Other than that, boys, y'all already know what it is. It's Fins Up all day, every day.